Today, the latest weapons, coupled with the fighting skill of the American soldier, stand ready, on the alert all over the world to defend this country, you, the American people, against aggression. This is The Big Picture, an official television report to the nation from the United States Army. Now, to show you part of the big picture, here is Sergeant Stuart Queen.
Just as in the Korean War, when it performed many key jobs, the light plane still plays an important role today. For our last story, we take you to an Eighth Army Airstrip in Korea, where we will see the light plane in operation.
There's our pride and joy, being polished nice and shiny. She's an L-20, one of the Army fixed-wing planes we pilot for the Eighth Army. Yes, we're the fellows who take those fragile-looking things up into the air over Korea. We have a lot of different jobs to do, and with all due modesty, we think the Army plane does them about as well as they can be done. If you gather from this that we are proud of these little jackrabbits, well, you're not far wrong. We think they're mighty fine, and come to think of it, that may be the understatement of the year. Why do we like the fixed-wing plane? First of all, there's no fuss, no bother about getting her into the air. It's no big deal to climb into the plane and strap on gear. Then call the tower for an okay. A Roger here, and a Roger there, and away we go. You hear a lot these days about superplanes that whiz through the air faster than sound. You can be sure nobody's referring to the Army plane in that connection. We poke along at an average speed of 95 miles an hour. Sound is way ahead of us. We don't mind a bit. Speed isn't everything after all. These planes are maneuverable. They can move up or down, right or left in a hurry. They can descend to a few hundred feet and follow the rise and fall of terrain at treetop level. That's what makes them so valuable for observation purposes. Despite its frail appearance, the Army plane is relatively rugged, too, and it has another plus. It can land on a short airstrip, or, when necessary, a road. Another advantage of the Army plane is the relatively low cost of maintenance. We have a highly trained group of soldier technicians. Assisted by Korean mechanics, they maintain the planes in A1 condition, ready to go into the air at any notice. At 8th Army headquarters in Korea, the fixed-wing planes are counted on for various missions. To accomplish these missions, Army planes are made available at airstrips throughout South Korea. One of the jobs for 8th Army aviation pilots is to transport ground force commanders and other personnel who must travel between units located in different sectors. Another basic use of the fixed-wing plane in Korea is to serve as a rapid delivery service for important messages, documents, and records. Subject only to the limitations of weight and space, high-priority official mail is allocated for transportation by plane. Loaded into sacks, the mail is carried by jeep courier to the operations office at the airstrip. the operations office, the courier mail is logged into a flight. Then it is hurried out to the strip, where we have a plane waiting for it. When we're loaded up, we contact the tower. Once flight clearance is secured, we're on our way. In a matter of hours, and sometimes less, the mail will be at its destination. If surface transportation were relied on, considering the bad roads and rugged terrain of Korea, days might pass before mail could be delivered. We've even worked out systems where, in an emergency, we can pick up important documents without coming into land. It all adds up to high-speed courier mail service in Korea. Observation is another type of mission we fly in Korea. This is done either by trained observers or by means of aerial photography. In wartime, the Army fixed-wing plane did an important job in this work. Nowadays, aerial photographs are still very useful. Take the case of some officers who want to check on the camouflage of their defensive position. A low-level aerial photograph of their position would be valuable. Through channels, a request is made of higher headquarters for a photographic mission. A photographer is assigned, and after a briefing, works out the calculations for the assignment. It is no simple task to figure out how best to shoot a target with a camera from a moving plane, but that's part of the job a photographer is trained to do. By the time the photographer finishes his preparation and leaves for the airstrip, the photo mission has been set up at 8th Army headquarters. The flight request is relayed to the duty officer, who records all the necessary details and sees that the flight is scheduled as promptly as possible. Things are moving quickly now. As the flight manifest sheet is made out, the plane is made ready on the adjacent airstrip. The flight is logged in on the acetate record board while the pilot and photographer board the plane. The tower gives him clearance, and the plane starts moving across the airstrip. A few minutes later, it makes the photographic run. The plane moves straight over the target, taking a series of pictures at short intervals. Pictures taken, the plane heads for the developing station, where, to save time, the packet of exposed negatives is airdropped. The negatives are developed as quickly as possible, at the same time doing a careful job, because details in the finished photograph are what will be looked for. When the prints are ready, aerial photo experts go to work on them. The low-level photograph reveals far more than the eye can see from a moving airplane, and far more accurately. The photographs can be used individually, in strips, or as stereo pairs, with the added third dimension to give greater detail. The photo specialists mark the prints, and a set is quickly dispatched to the requesting unit. In a matter of a few hours after the request has been put in, the photographs are received. The officers now have a clear sense of the actual terrain they are interested in and can do a better job planning for its defense. Flying of key personnel from place to place, running the courier mail, observation and aerial photography. Those are some of our main jobs in present-day Korea. So you can see why we're busy, one flight after another. It seems every moment the tower is giving us the word, and we're heading off on a job again. Sure, we may not travel at the speed of sound, but we do the job, whatever it is. We like to think that those rugged Korean mountains down below don't bother the Army as much as they used to, thanks to the Army planes and the men who fly them.
Yes, the light plane is doing heavy duty for the 8th Army in Korea. Now, this is Sergeant Stuart Queen inviting you to be with us again next week when we will present another look at the big picture.
The Big Picture is a weekly television report to the nation on the activities of the Army at home and overseas. Produced by the Signal Corps Pictorial Center. Presented by the U.S. Army in cooperation with this station. You can be an important part of the big picture. You can proudly serve with the best equipped, the best trained, the best fighting team in the world today, the United States Army.